All righty. Trying to get a couple things situated this morning. But once I do, we will start Coffee with Cowbell. I am your host, Ricardo Wilkins. And I hope you can hear me because I always have microphone issues every time, but I think we're good. I'm your resident Microsoft Teams geek who wakes up on Saturday with a cup of coffee to chat about Teams. So let's do that. I am going to do one couple of things here, some housekeeping. Please bear with me. Okay, I think we are doing good here. Okay. And one more thing here. All right. All right. I don't think I'm going to have chat access today, but that's cool. It's good to be back talking about Teams. And let me pull up my demo environment. So that's okay. That's good there. And looking good. Okay, I think that works. Do one thing there. Okay. Sorry. I think we will leave it like that. All right. So let me go here. All right. All right. So I will try to monitor chat here as best I can. In case you out there have a question. But in the meantime and between time, as they say, so I'll do one thing here. Okay. Oh, all right. That's what I was looking for. All right. Gotcha. All right. We're good. All right. We're not good. It's okay. We'll leave it. So yeah, so I'm gonna chat it up, just talk. And usually when I do these things, because I do it on Saturday, today, I do this on Friday mornings, 11 a.m. That's aka.ms/cute for teams. Today is aka.ms/coffee for teams, number 4. And then I'm starting Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Coffee for Teams, the decaf edition, because you shouldn't drink coffee at 9 p.m. You'll be up all night. So we'll do the decaf edition that Tuesday at 9 p.m. And that's mainly me trying to see if that's a good time for people that maybe aren't early, I don't know, Saturday morning people. But in any of those, when I do them, I tend to like to I always seem to have something that has come up in my work, work with customers, with teams, and, other, all parts of the Microsoft stack, the Microsoft cloud at least. And so every week there's always something that comes up that I feel like I can discuss. And in this case, I thought I'd bring up a question that came up, I think it was yesterday, which I thought was interesting. We were able to answer it, but not necessarily demo anything. And that is this, which I think it's a valid question. It's that question about deleting things. What can I delete of my own? What can I delete of others? How does that all work? And I think that could be a valid question. Uh, if for nothing else, you listening should be interested in deleting your own things, or I would say it differently: the concept of I didn't mean to do that, right? And case in point, in the email world that we've known for decades, the oops, I didn't mean to do that usually results in attempt to do a message recall, right? I sent an email. Either I said something that wasn't correct, I misspelled something. I just wish I could give that another chance. So we try message recall. I don't know if anybody out there has ever had a successful message recall. I think it works if you, I feel like it works if you do it immediately, for anybody any recipient is actually able to open it. But most times I see that not go so well. And so then you have an email out, maybe not that you didn't mean to send at all, but maybe an email that has got some typos, forgot an attachment, maybe wrong recipients, maybe things like that. So let's talk about what that looks like in the Teams world. So first, we'll stay right here with my little chat with Nestor. Okay. And I'll try to make this bigger here. Yep. Zoom it in. Zoom it in some more. That's a nice big zoom. So here on 226, I asked Nestor, can we talk? Okay. Not necessarily a post that I would want to change, but just for the sake of argument. The first piece to Teams in this respect to remember is that you can edit your post. So in a text message world, if I had misspelled something here, I'd have to send another text where I'd usually say oops and put the new word. I've seen people do an asterisk plus the word spelled correctly, or they'll say autocorrect and then something like that, right? We don't need a second message for misspellings or anything like that. Remember that the three dots here, and you have now I'm too zoomed in for you to see that, so let me zoom out a little bit. We have edit here. I think I can zoom out at least. Okay, you do have edit for any of your posts. If I go there and hit that, I get my entire post, ready to be edited here. And so instead of Nestor, can we talk? I'll say, Nestor, can we talk for a minute? If you're a child of the 90s, that edit makes perfect sense to you. I don't know. Let me know in chat or the comments if you understand that edit. That would be interesting. Anyway, so I can make that change, and then I can hit the check box, the check here, and you can see that it says edited, and my new edit is there. So now Nestor may have saw the original, but he will also, it will just change automatically for him, right? Just right in front of his eyes, it'll change. And that edited will be a clue as to why this looks different than the last time I read it, let's say. So yeah, no need to do another post to explain my mistake or anything. Again, this isn't a great example of a mistake per se, but no need to explain any of that. And in fact, remember that this goes so far as to, I can edit it anytime after the fact. So, one, Teams chat is not the place for you to assume that, say I made a promise, a business promise in that chat. Chat is not the place for me to depend on that chat to be the documentation of that promise, right? I can go back a month from now and change that post, right? So it's not a, anyway, hopefully you get that. And so because I can change it again, um, I can come back here and edit and make any changes. I could start adding a whole bunch of new text. Um, maybe I, um, want to come in here and add a GIF, right? Or, or something. I can do that. And now that's a part of this particular post, right? Come back in, take it out, so forth and so on. So, uh, that's that concept of being able to change my old posts, right, on the fly at any time. So, the one lesson to take out of that is you never have to settle for typos. You can go change your typos at any time. Um, and to me, it's more elegant to edit than to do another post and all that good stuff, right? An interesting scenario where this comes into play is, let's say this is a chat. See, do I have a chat with multiple people? Let's see, of course I do. So maybe Deborah and Nestor, right? So this is a chat with two people, three, including me. And we are in a meeting, and I'm deciding to be the scribe, and I'm going to take notes for the meeting. So I might start a post that says meeting notes, and maybe just post that, right? Okay. You say, why would you do that? So as we're talking, we talk about something, a new topic comes up. The Zoom is messing with me hitting that edit button. As we're talking, subject one, blah, blah, and, something else. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, which is editing this as we're going through the meeting. So from the other people's perspective, they see a post that continually magically starts adding new info. I could be the scribe by doing a bunch of separate posts all throughout the meeting, or of course, obviously putting those meeting notes in something else, Word, Wiki, OneNote, and sharing that out. But with this, I can continue to just do edits for the people in the meeting. This thing magically keeps growing. Certainly, other people might start chatting and pushing my message to the top, but people can come back to this one single post for the meeting notes. That single post, something in this case, because it's chat, could be pinned in this one, this group chat here. If we were in a channel meeting, there would be a post that I could actually, copy, grab a link to, and that would always be the unique link to the notes, for that meeting. So that's another use of that editing concept. Is just something that you are real time continuing to update. Now, here in 2022, I mean, we just talked a couple weeks back about the loop component. So one could argue I'd use that instead. That's going to be real-time auto updating, but it's also going to be collaborative. The other users could put their notes in as well. That makes more sense. It's just in the context of what we're talking about today. I was bringing up that scenario before a loop. Let's say it could be a viable scenario to, constantly edit a message. So all that being said, remember the existence and the value of the edit button for your posts. Okay. And then let's say that I don't like it at all. Then we do have delete, right? So we can certainly delete our messages. Now, some interesting caveats to that. Let's go ahead and delete this. Message has been deleted. So first off, of course, there is an undo button for a while, and then the message has been deleted. So one interesting thing I like to point out. Oops, it's good. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can. Do I have Nestor or Deborah's profile up here? I do not. I was trying to show you what they see. Okay, so who is this? This is me and an admin. Let's do a quick chat with the admin because we want to see what the other person sees. Okay. So I am going to start up a chat with Ricardo from the admin. May already have one going. Maybe not. So we'll do a new chat. I think we all know how to do this, right? Ricardo. We'll use this guy. Okay, and you can see that it brought up old chat from 2 years ago, almost a year and a half. So if you didn't realize it, Teams chat is persistent unless you start putting policies in place to remove chat. So brought up an old chat with Ricardo, and I'm going to just say hello. Okay. And then I'm going to delete the hello. All right, message has been deleted. Now you can see from the blinking that Ricardo had got the message from the administrator. You can see here, bolded. This is, letting me know that I got a message from the administrator, but message was deleted. So as opposed to the little snippet of the wording, I get this message was deleted. Okay. When I go to that chat, I get absolutely nothing. So this hello is from, I should have said something different. Hello, because this is the one from 2020. It's not the hello I just tried. So I get no message was deleted. I mean, I have the concept that it was deleted there, but I have no record of it here. If I go back to administrator and type a new message, maybe I meant to say hi. Come back here. So now I don't have that message was deleted anymore. So what I'm trying to show here is had I not paid attention and the administrator said hello, deleted it, and then said hi, I'd have no clue that he said something and then deleted it and then said something else, right? I'm getting no record of it here, getting no record of it there. I only would have got a record of it if I happened to be paying attention the moment he, as in email terms, sent the message recall. But in this case, now it looks like a clean, no mistake ever happened. Okay. What that also means, though, is if I come back here, now what happens if I undo? So if I undo, there is the hello. If I come back here to me, there is the hello. Okay, above the hi, all that good stuff. That would be a little confusing, obviously, especially if some additional chat had occurred here. To undo that would be a little confusing, at least to me, but it does work for the other person. Okay, so we'll leave that. And then let's see. If I go ahead and let's go ahead and delete that. Actually, I want to delete that. Coming over here, it just goes away because it's a previous message. So it'll just be some concepts here. And where I'm really going with this is This idea that you may or may not see the fact that the message was deleted. And in fact, one more thing I'll try here is an at mention message. So at Ricardo, hello, right? And then I mentioned you, and then I'm going to delete it. Now, I think this one will be interesting. We got the same thing we experienced before in the chat. Message was deleted. I don't see it. I just get it there. As soon as I get another message from the administrator, that's going to go away. But the news feed, this is where you could get caught, right? The news feed wants to let me know that I've been mentioned, and it's telling me who mentioned me and the beginning of what they said, which in this case was so small that I'm actually getting the full message there, even though that message is deleted. So when you'll see this happen, where it gets interesting is, let's say I did a paragraph, I mentioned you, but then I deleted it. The whole paragraph was bad. It will delete, but whatever I said in the beginning, whatever's enough for the, because certainly if my name was smaller here, I would have gotten more words. Whatever is enough to be in the preview would still show and persist. So I always jokingly tell people, if you are trying to be, conscious about this concept, make sure you don't say anything important in the first 3 or 4 words of your message. Because if you change your mind and want to delete, the 3 or 4 words will hang around longer than you would have liked. So don't put the most important thing. And that's a joke, because really you do want messages. If you read any articles about how to make an email or a message that, somebody wants to read and tells them what to do. I mean, you do want the beginning of your message to be action, to show what action the person needs, to show them why they want to read this. So it's really a joke per se. But just remember this concept that even if you delete something, especially if you've mentioned them or done something such that it's going to show up in their feed, the feed will retain the first few words of a deleted message. So in 99% of our worlds, that is not a big deal. But I'm sure there's some 1% out there somewhere where that might be an issue. Maybe if you start your message with expletives or insults, that's going to persist. At Ricardo, hey dummy, that's going to persist. So hopefully you don't start your messages that way. So that's the concept of editing and deleting, and what does that look like on both sides. Okay. Now, what's not going to happen is administrator coming to Ricardo's post here. Actually, that's my, wait a minute, where am I? I'm in Ricardo, sorry. Ricardo coming to the administrator's post or vice versa and deleting or editing it. You see, I don't have that. So whether you're wanting to do it for cleanup purposes, whether you're wanting to, you decide, hey, I don't like that post there, I want it gone, you're gonna have to get that person to delete it. You're not gonna go delete other people's posts. There is a scenario on the team side where, as a team owner, there is a configuration that would let you do that. But in general, you're not deleting other people's posts. Okay. And so then if you are looking to clean up something, then you say, well, then what do I do? What if I want to erase the existence of this conversation? Your best bet is probably retention policies. In this case, a deletion retention policy. So your admins, do have the ability to create a policy that says, typical one would be, any messages older than a year will get auto destroyed essentially. And thus, in that scenario, for instance, actually, this is a good example. In that scenario, me seeing 2020 and older would not, if that policy was in place, I wouldn't see these old persistent messages because the policy would have cleaned them up because they're older than a year in the scenario I just gave. So that's going to delete mine, anyone's, that's going to delete any post that's old enough that, in this scenario, older than a year. So if you're looking for cleanup scenarios, that would be the way to go. The kind of a very official, very e-discovery type way to clean up, truly clean up and get rid of old messages. Of course, that's doing that based on a rule. It's not, I don't know, I guess, I don't know. I guess you could, I don't know if you could say like just Ricardo's posts that are older than a year. I don't know if I've ever looked into that, but certainly most people do it based on age. So that would be the way to delete there. So, you didn't think that there was so much to talk about related to deleting, but there is, and there's probably more. Because what we didn't talk about is deleting files. I mean, we were very specific to chat, trying to make this analogy to what we would have done in the email world. And unlike the email world, email is sent out, received by the recipient, and other than message recall, it's there for them to own forever. Here we're all using the cloud to talk, and those messages are there for both of us, and so that gives us this ability to edit and not have to live with some of the mistakes that we would have lived with in the email world. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. The last thing I'll say about the edit piece, so I mentioned it from that real-time editing from a meeting notes perspective. If any of you use Teams for one-on-ones with your manager, or really any meeting where ahead of time you're coming up with an agenda. So I do this often where let's say I've got a meeting. In this case, this looks like a meeting with the administrator. And maybe the meeting's 4 days from now. I'll do a post today that says agenda, and maybe I do know something that I want on the agenda, at least one thing, right? So I'll start a post there. That's the message from the on the administrator side, but I'll start a post there that says something like, we got one agenda item. The meeting's in 4 days. So 2 days later, I have a great idea. We should also talk about something else. So I can just come back to this post and add a second agenda item. So basically, I'm just working this thing all week up until the meeting. And then once me and the other meeting participant jump into the meeting, and of course, everyone in that meeting is seeing that chat, change throughout the week. Maybe they're adding their own agenda items as well. But then once we jump in the meeting, we now have a nice convenient post right in our chat with the agenda ready to go. So I can pull up chat, and now we're all looking at this agenda that has been curated and worked over the last few days. It's right there in our face. We're ready to start talking. So that's taking advantage of this concept of, when teams meetings have a life cycle: before the meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting. And so taking advantage of that before meeting life cycle to prep agendas, to have initial conversations, things like that. So that's another concept to that edit button. All right. So, that was a little early. Sorry about that. So yeah, I was just going to say, I hope that was helpful. That's, this concept of deleting content, editing content in a message post. Maybe you learned a few things about that you didn't know before. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. And I'm glad that you joined me for coffee on a Saturday. You have been here with me with Coffee with the Cowbell. We will see you next week. Or if you're so inclined, I'll see you Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, the decaf version. But either way, I'll see you, or you can see me on demand. This is streamed 5 places: youtube.com/teamwork cowbell. You can find these streams. www.teamworkcowbell. You can also find them aka.ms/coffee for teams. And then it's on Twitter and Facebook and Twitch and LinkedIn as well. You have no excuse. I'm everywhere. All right. Have a good weekend. See you later.